and welcome back to my channel. So on today's video, we are going to do a review, a photography test, and a wearability test of the fairly new foundation from ILIA. This is their True Skin Serum Foundation infused with niacinamide, allantoin, and aloe. As you would notice, the trend nowadays with these new foundations are they tend to be hybrid. Hybrid meaning they don't only give you coverage, they also give you skincare benefits. And with this foundation, as I have mentioned, it is infused with niacinamide, allantoin, and aloe, which is very beneficial for your skin. But what's also unique about this foundation and the ILIA makeup line in general is that they're also clean. They are a clean makeup brand, which means that they don't have any ingredients that are harmful to humans or the environment. And that's a big movement nowadays. A lot of the makeup brands are actually turning into a clean makeup brand. So I'm excited to see how this clean and hybrid foundation performs on my skin. The price of this foundation is 71 Canadian dollars for 30 ml, which I think is on the pricier side compared to hybrid foundations such as the Charlotte Tilbury and the NARS Skin Reflecting Foundation. Those are, I think, on the 50-60 side. But I have to keep in mind that this is not only a hybrid foundation, this is also a clean foundation. So maybe that's why the price is kind of up there. This foundation claims to melt in and moves with you seamlessly, blending and blurring for skin that looks like skin. It's also non-comedogenic and safe for sensitive skin. The formula contains active levels of niacinamide, allantoin, which smooth and soothe to visibly improve bare skin over time. And it also claims to have a medium coverage and a natural finish. So let's try this foundation out. Before that, I'm also going to prime my face with the e.l.f. Pore Putty Primer. I've been enjoying this primer, and this is what I usually use on my reviews. So for consistency, we're gonna use this with this foundation as well. So the shade that I got is SALINA, which on the Sephora's website is described as a light medium with neutral undertones. Shake the foundation really well because that's what it says on the label. I'm going to do one pump. It's a little bit runny. It's a runny foundation. It's more of a liquid foundation. I'm going to use a brush. I think I need to apply it with my fingers first. It's very thin. It has this woody scent. I don't know what it is, but it reminds me of like wood. Weird. I don't know if my brush just soaked up all the foundation or one pump is just very sheer. It's very sheer. I guess because it's really runny. So this is the side with the brush and the side without foundation. So just a little background, my skin concerns are my big pores, my hyperpigmentation, and a little bit of texture on my skin. And for my skin type, I have oily combination skin. I'm going to use my sponge on my right side. I know, I can hear it. Okay, this is applying really well with a sponge. It's not soaking up the product. Again, if you're curious where to get this, just email me at aldal.ic@gmail.com. I love this sponge. I still have a lot here when I use the sponge. I think for foundations such as this, since it's very thin, the brush would really soak up the product, so you're really going to benefit using a sponge. Still have a lot here. Okay, so this is the side with the sponge and this is the side with a brush. So I'm going to do half a pump more on my brush side. I'm gonna add half a pump and just use my airbrush sponge. So this is my full face with the foundation. I'm gonna add a little bit more where I have hyperpigmentation, and let's see if this foundation is buildable. So first impression, I can really see the glow on my face. It's very glowy on, like the camera's really capturing the glow, and it's just not on the top of my cheeks, it's almost everywhere. When it comes to blurring my pores, I don't necessarily think that it's helping me blur my pores because it's a very thin consistency. Although when it comes to coverage, even though it's thin, you can see that you don't almost see my hyperpigmentation on my cheeks. And the very prominent hyperpigmentation you can still see, but the rest over here is also almost covered. So it can give you a medium to almost full coverage, and it's buildable even though it's very thin. And when it comes to the claim that it melts and moves with you, I don't know, maybe I should make weird faces and see. It's definitely not creasing, if that's what they meant about that. It's not thin on the face. It feels, right now it's still a little tacky, so I know that I have makeup on. Comparing this to the lightest foundation that I have tried, which is the Patrick Star BBB cream. Like when you put that on, it's very refreshing and very light on the face. Like that's really light. But this one, I can still feel that I have foundation on, but it doesn't feel heavy. Now I'm gonna let this set for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're gonna test if my cream products will blend seamlessly with this foundation. This foundation still feels a little tacky after 5 minutes, but I'm going to start putting on my concealer. I'm using my Marc Jacobs concealer. So far, my cream concealer is blending really well on top of this foundation. Now we're going to try my cream contour. I'm using my Fenty Beauty Match Sticks in Mocha. It's also blending really well on top of this foundation. Let me just double check if the foundation is moving. The foundation is sort of moving when I put on the contour because the foundation is really thin and still kind of wet. Okay, so far my cream contour really blended well on top of this foundation, but it moved my foundation, so I'm gonna just touch up a little bit. I'm not going to use my cream blush because I already saw movement when I use my cream contour, so I'm just going to set this with powder and just apply my powder. But before doing that, I'm going to set my face with this Estee Lauder powder. I did a review on this and I've been loving this so much. This is their Double Wear Sheer Flattery Loose Powder in Translucent Soft Glow. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. If you're looking for an amazing, amazing powder, like this is really good. And since we're doing that natural skin looking finish, I think that this will be the perfect pair for this foundation. This powder is really fine, like micro fine. So you think you're not putting anything, but we'll see. So I finished my makeup and this is how it looks like. I feel like when I put the powder and really when the foundation sets, it's not as glowy as what it used to be. You can still see a little bit of that glow. It's not intense as the first time I put it on. Now let's do the photography test and see what it looks like with flash and non-flash. I don't usually set my foundation during reviews, but I just feel like this foundation needs to have a setting spray on top. So I'm going to use my NYX Dewy Finish setting spray. So I'm going to wear this foundation for 8 hours, and I'm going to give you an update on the 4th hour and on the 8th hour, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. So 4th hour update. I have to say, this foundation really looks like my skin. I think that if I don't have any eye makeup, any blush on, you would think that this is actually how my skin would look like. I'll go closer. It's really thin. And when it comes to my oiliness, I don't think I'm too oily right now. I feel like this is how it looks like when I freshly applied this on. I also like that now that it's already set on my face, especially with that powder, it feels very light on the face. I can still feel the bump on the face. It's not like the Givenchy foundation that I reviewed previously. It doesn't have that smoothing effect, but I can really feel that my skin feels moisturized and hydrated. So on the 4th hour, it's still performing well, although again, it didn't help in blurring out my pores too much. So I'll update you on the 8th hour. 8th hour update. Here is how my foundation is looking like. So on the 8th hour, I can see that my oil is seeping through on the sides of my cheeks, also on my forehead. But we'll use a blotting sheet. I'm going to blot my face and see if there's still foundation under that oil. Yeah, there's still a lot of foundation under that oil. So this is how it looks like after blotting my face with the blotting sheet. I still have a medium coverage overall, although on this spot where I have a bump, a healing pimple, there's no foundation there. I think it rubbed off. It's either because my daughter was touching my face or because of the mask. But surprisingly, my nose still has the foundation. So it's probably not because of the mask. Maybe this is just because my daughter was touching my face and her hands were wet. Overall, I'm very impressed that it still has that medium coverage. My blush is still on, my bronzer is still on. And after blotting, like, it looks really fresh again. So I think I'm ready to give you guys my final thoughts. So I'm giving this foundation a 3.5 stars out of 5 stars. I like the texture of this foundation. At first, when I was putting it on, it was very glowy. And I was scared that it's going to be like the Charlotte Tilbury one because that's super dewy and it's not suitable really for oily skin. When this one dried down, it actually dried down into like a soft matte finish. It really helped in controlling my oil. So I think that this would suit almost all skin types. I would even suggest this to people with dry skin because even though it dries down into soft matte, you could really feel your skin being moisturized and your skin feels very hydrated. And now I get it when they said that this foundation would really melt into your skin and would move with you. Now I get it because it doesn't really cling to any texture of my face. It really just evened out my skin tone. I'm still missing a little coverage because now it's very thinned out, but I think that this would be a good everyday foundation, especially if you're looking for a foundation with sheer to medium coverage and if you're looking for a foundation for everyday use. Again, I really enjoy this foundation. The only reason I gave this foundation a 3.5 stars instead of a perfect 5 is because of the price. This is 71 Canadian dollars for 30 ml. I get that it's a hybrid foundation with skincare ingredients like niacinamide, aloe, and allantoin. But I already said this when I was reviewing the NARS Skin Reflecting Foundation, and I said there that I'd rather have those ingredients in an actual skincare product. Like, I really enjoy the Good Molecules niacinamide, which is only $6 per bottle. And I also enjoy putting aloe vera on my face, and that's not expensive as well. But I know that this is also a clean brand, and if you're making a product that is clean, it's quite costly as well. Again, I have to bring up the NARS Skin Reflecting Foundation. This is also a hybrid foundation. It has skincare ingredients that are good for your skin. Foundation is free of parabens, formaldehydes, SLS, and other harmful ingredients. So although they don't claim that this is a clean makeup or NARS is a clean makeup brand, it's nice to know that this foundation actually doesn't have those harmful ingredients. And this foundation costs $65, and again, the ILIA foundation costs $71. I know it's only a $5 difference, but I like this NARS foundation more because it definitely helps in blurring my pores. and I didn't get that from this foundation. So I think for my skin type and my skin concern, I'd rather go with the NARS Skin Reflecting Foundation than the ILIA foundation. If you want an in-depth comparison between these two foundations, just let me know in the comments below so we can discuss more about these two foundations. But of course, we have different skincare needs and skin type. You might really enjoy this foundation more than the NARS. So if you have tried this foundation, feel free to comment down below how your experience was. If you're using this and you have dry skin, just comment your experience down below so we can help the community. And if you have any questions that I didn't cover on this review, just comment down below. I would love to answer them for you. In the meantime, don't forget to check my foundation playlist where I review high-end and drugstore foundations. And also, if you find this video helpful, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll always be updated once a new video is out. Thank you so much once again for watching. I'll see you in my next one.